Yeah, that is the thing. Only like 2-3 sessions are enough for that. So,
Okay.
yeah, and like let's have one more thing. Yeah, program command shape, right? So that is small one only. Let me bring up this program command shape. You know, so program command shape, when we are going to use, so program command shape, like it's going to support like an SQL statements. We have to write SQL statements and store procedure and system commands. Okay. So generally, right, we have database connections. We have DB connection, sorry, DB connector. So using DB connector, we have to write SQL statements as well as storage procedures, both. If you see, we have already done, right, Salesforce to database integration with them. Suppose if you go to this insert account, in insert account we have statement is, we have dynamic insert, storage procedure, dynamic update, and dynamic delete, right? So we have to write like standard SQL script also, and the program command shape also, like supporting SQL statement. So we can write SQL statement in program command shape. Suppose we have, see here, instead of like in a database, we can write SQL statement directly here. Okay, so we can write insert statement, we can write stored procedure statement, both. What is the stored procedure we have to call? Okay, what is the connection name? Suppose we have to call connection name is MySQL connection. Okay, and we have to call a particular stored procedure name. If stored procedure, we have to give any parameters, we can variable section, we are going to use like parameters. In the parameters tab, we have to give profile element, process property, whatever, like we have to give all values, right? And the same way, like we can write SQL statement, you can directly write your own SQL, and those parameters you have to give it from variable section. Suppose select star from where the account ID equals something, so that account ID you have to pass from variable section. But what is the difference between like program command shape and database? Why? Because here we can write, we can call stored procedure, and here also we can call stored procedure. Here we can use execute SQL statements, here we also execute SQL statements. But why we give like program command shape? Okay, so program command shape, like only use like the main difference is, yes, we can write SQL statements and we can execute it, but only thing we can write is insert statement. Okay,
What statement?
only insert statement is supporting by program command shape.
Oh, okay.
So but here we can insert, and we can query, both. Dynamic insert, we can write select statement, we can update, we can insert.
Correct,
But here only thing is we can update and we can insert, we can delete. But select statement is not supported by program command shape. You cannot write a select statement. Even write select statement, it is not going to be supported.
Okay.
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 Why? Because if you say if you if you write SQL statement, select statement, then select statement will fit some rows, right? So rows have some columns, right? So columns is nothing but profile, right? That is like a database profile. So where we can attach these select profile elements, right? So that is what, like we don't have any profile settings here. So that's why like a select statement is not supported by program command shape. Only it is insert, we can use like an update, or we can delete. We can write update, delete, insert, but we cannot write SQL statements.
Okay.
Both. And
So
system
then,
commands, yeah.
so then it is not like comparatively the database connection is best, right? We can do everything there itself, right?
Yeah, yes, exactly. Wherever like in a simple like delete statement, simply you are going to insert something, so we can use like program command shape. Okay, so
Anyway,
it is like
for this also we need a connection. It's not connection is not required.
yeah, it is connection required, right? Otherwise how we are going to connect to database?
Correct.
MySQL
Yeah.
connection
Oh,
is required. Same way.
okay. Okay.
Here also we are
Same
connecting a MySQL connection. Here also we are connecting connection we have.
Okay.
Okay. And one more type is like system command. You know, We have like a system command. It is supporting system command. You know what is the system command? You know, right? Windows, we have DOS commands.
Okay.
Suppose if you want to create a directory in Windows system, you can give the command here. If you write like any copy command in Unix, you can write your Unix command here.
Okay.
So that kind of like commands you can write in program command shape, whether it is like in Windows or whether it is in Unix. Suppose this process is running on Linux system, Linux server.
Okay.
Suppose
That time
your
this will
Boomi
use.
server is like deployed into your Boomi server is deployed into Linux system. Then we are going to deploy this server process into Linux server. Then you can write system commands will be only support like Linux commands. We cannot write DOS commands, right?
Shell scripting we can do it here, right?
Yes, exactly. So based on your server, you are going to write that particular corresponding commands here. It is
okay. Based on availability, we are using this one. It's not for
yeah,
all. For a DB and all, we can do it there itself. Not here. Not
yes,
here mean like we can do it there itself. That is this. If
yeah,
anything come to Unix or
yeah.
Linux,
Something is coming
then
like Unix commands if you want to write, or if you want to move some files from one folder to another folder, or
it
if
is
you want, yeah,
the only shape we have, right, for Unix and
yeah,
Linux. Okay.
yes. Unix and Windows commands we have to write in system, like which is simply like program command we are going to use. And coming to like API management, right? So we discussed about right how we are going to hit our sorry.
Gopi, can we start EDA after EDA finish with EDA? Because next Wednesday I need to join the company.
Yeah. So we will start from tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, we'll set up some EDA system,
Okay.
and tomorrow we'll start. So we'll complete this API management like fast, like okay.
Okay.
We'll continue from EDA tomorrow. So so API management is nothing but suppose like we already discussed it, right? Web service, we know, right? Web service server. So that web service server is nothing but we are going to expose our API to external system, right?
Correct.
So this is what like we are hitting from the Postman, and we are going to receive the request, and we are going to fetching the Salesforce records and inserting the database. This is already discussed, right?
Yeah.
So once it's inserting, so here in branch shape, what I'm doing, like just whatever we are receiving. So whatever I'm going to receive Salesforce account, this Salesforce account I'm inserting into here, in which Salesforce like a database account, like an account ID, created date, first name, last name, and phone number. Okay. And if once it is successful, the branch shape is like a sequential actions. Branch name has like a sequential actions. Once is like a successfully inserted, and we are going to send a success message to client. What we have to send? So this is what I'm going to send. So status equal to success, and message equals to record is inserted successfully in database. So this message I want to set in back as a success response I'm going to send. So if you want to send this message to back, we have to use return documents. Okay. So if any error occurred, suppose any error occurred in this process, in this try path, then catch path will be executed, and catch path will receive that exception message by using try catch message here. You got it, right?
Okay.
So here just I'm writing a static message, something like this. So status equal to failure, and message equal to technical error, and error description is failed.
Why
Here,
what is the difference we are giving in the braces inside?
so this is like in a JSON, right? This is like in a JSON message.
Oh.
So this is like in a JSON message.
Oh, this one is already you created because we.
Yeah, I am created.
You created. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So this process itself you created, or it's our process only?
Sorry.
No, this process, right? The Salesforce integration. It's our process,
Yeah.
or we did
Yeah.
only.
No. So this is one. Last time we created the same SFTC, but I added one more.
Oh,
This step. Only added this step.
try catch.
Already getting like hitting the database from the here, right? We are giving a request and based on account ID, and we are going to get the accounts, right? We
Correct.
did. So after that, just what I'm did. So I'm using like database. We already did some one of the database insertion, right? So I'm taking like database insertion and inserting some create a account table and whatever like I'm receiving this account details and I'm going to insert those account details into database database account. Only I've added this part. Okay. So in the second branch, what I'm did. So just I'm using a message shape here. So if you have any error occurred, simply I'm writing like this. So error description, nothing. Here it is null. One second, I'm gonna. So any confusion here?
No confusion. I understand.
Yeah, only like we are retrieving the records. Like before that, we are retrieving based on account ID. Here I'm retrieving all records. Okay, I'm retrieving all records, and these records I'm inserting into database. So I'm calling like insert account. I created a profile and account profile. Just using like insert a dynamic insert. So these are like an account table. Account table is there, and account table, account ID, created date, first name, last name, phone, which I created. Okay.
Okay.
Just imported that account table. So we have database profile, we have Salesforce profile. So just we are mapping. So from Salesforce profile, and this is the account profile we created. So just account ID to ID and the created date. It is a current date of from function. I'm receiving like current date. Okay. Right how to.
This one we didn't see much.
You can use like get current date. This current date I'm mapping to created date.
Oh.
First name is coming from the account. Under contact we have. From contact I'm receiving like first name and last name and phone number. So these values I'm trying to insert into database. Okay. So here once it is successfully inserted, then second branch will be executed, right? It means first it is successfully inserted means the data is successfully inserted. So once inserted, I'm going to return, I'm going to say to the client, yes, the database inserted successfully. Then I'm writing only taking message shape and I'm writing this JSON. Okay, status equals to success and message record is inserted successfully in the database and error description nothing. Why? Because we know we are not getting any error in the here. So if any error in the try path, add a try catch shape and the catch path will receive the error message, right? Along with the rejected document, I'm going to receive the error message. So here I'm just give it the same status equals to failure and the message is called technical error, something error description is like failed. So still you can use like a try catch message in here. Okay, as of now just checking whether it is working or not. And also I'm giving like a written document. Right, written document is going to use along with this web services server. Why? Because we are going to return this error back to client. So in web services server, we already discussed it. So here I'm using like single JSON. Here I'm gonna expected input. I'm not going to send anything. Only I'm going to hit this request without request. Okay.
Okay.
Without
Without any
request body.
parameter.
Yeah, without parameter, without request body. Okay.
Okay.
So only hitting, and I'm getting the response. So what response I'm going to send? So that is the one, like in a status, message, and error description. Only these three values. Status equals success. If it is success, it is success. If it is failure, it is failure. Only this response JSON. Whatever, like we are writing JSON response here, the same response JSON I created. Okay.
Okay.
Save and created package component. I'm deploying into production environment.
Why it is already there in test environment?
So deployed successfully. You know, right, how to form the URL.
Yeah.
So this is the sample URL path, simple URL path. So this is the one you should take and go to auto management. And ng prod, and we have, this is a prod, right? We deployed. If you go to see here, deployed process, we have deployed Salesforce integration, and go to shared web server. So this is the endpoint host, right?
Yeah.
So this is a simple URL path, and copy this and add to prefix here. Okay. And user management, we have token. This is the username. So if you don't have, like, you can generate, I can save it. Okay.
Yeah.
So now can use like a postman here, and already had this one. So let's have one more. This is the get method. So basic authentication. So send request. So syntax error we are receiving 200. Okay. But as a response body, we are getting like something syntax errors. Yeah. So success. So here, so error description says success record is inserted. So how many records you inserted? See, 1, 2, 3, 4, or something like. This is what we are receiving. You know, right? Why we are receiving this error like this? So this is the what. So how many records we are inserting? Every time we are receiving, we are getting this one.
Oh.
Okay. So you know, right? Why? We have some option here. We haven't checked it. Here, see, for every database, like one data is like, so here we are getting like, let's assume we have getting like, 5 documents from the Salesforce.
Okay.
Then 5 documents will reach to first branch. One is inserted. These 5 records will reach to second branch. Then 5 times it is going to be executed.
Okay.
So that is the reason. So every time we are not going to get the same one. You can combine document into single message.
Okay.
Okay. And this is the one. Suppose like we have given like multiple same error. Every time we are going to combine document into single message and create a packages component and insert. Now I think we should we will get like error. Why? Because that account ID is a primary key. We'll get some
Oh.
errors. Okay. Let me log in.
Oh, you created new Gopi for this one?
Yeah, create a new one. Yeah. Yeah. So this account ID is like prime. Yeah. So I think it's not going. It's going to accept null also. No problem. So we can hit one more time.
Okay.
I thought like account ID is a primary key, but it's not a primary key. Still, we are getting the same one. Says the record is inserted successfully in database. Combined document into single message. So it's going to combine all documents into single. So how can we avoid multiple messages into? So we can send always one message, even for multiple messages.
Mm. Can we use this data process?
So data processor, we can use. So data process shape is like in a combined only. It's going to split documents. We have combined documents.
Yeah.
It's going to combine all documents into one. It is JSON response JSON. What we have to combine? Why? Because in the data processor also we cannot use here. So we have to avoid multiple messages. Like now, five times it is getting, 5 times it is like no.
Yeah. This
Five
this
times
is
it
not
is
a
like,
correct uniform.
yeah, it is correct. Like only one time we should get.
Correct.
For 5 messages. Like we are getting 5 success messages combined. It's not good practice actually.
Yeah. You deployed it, right? You deployed it, right?
Yeah, I deployed, right? That is-
Yeah, you deployed only.
Let me deploy. Yeah, deployed successfully.
So,
Still getting the same one.
hmm.
I think we have to eliminate. We have to see only one message. So branch shape always like returning. So in this case, we cannot use the branch shape. Branch shape cannot use, then we cannot. Okay, what we can do in simple. Now we'll receive. See. Now see here, only one request will come. Only one request will come,
Okay.
and it's going to retrieve all records and inserting into the database. For that one request only, we are sending response back.
Okay.
Got it? So this is the correct one. So go to this one. See here.
Yeah.
So this is the way like we have to adjust our process. If only one request will come, then one request will go, and how many requests will come, then it's going to be inserted all records. If any error, like in a second branch, we're going to send a message. If we have any error in the two branches, then we will get the message, error message here.
Okay.
So now, so this is like a simple URL, right? If you want to expose this service as a REST API, okay.
Hmm.
So we can create a like an API service component. Okay. So let's create a API service component. Oh, where is yours? Means this service is simply a service, then service will be converted as a REST API and SOAP web services. Let's go to create a one more folder, API service, API component. Okay, so this API component, so here we have to create a API service component. So let's create API service component. We have like an API, it is like an API service and API proxy. Proxy is a different. Okay, proxy is like we are going to create one more endpoint URL. Okay. Now I am not going to create any endpoint URL. So API service I'm going to create and create. You can give something like API. Which API it is? SFDC API. Okay. I'm going to expose this integration service as an API. Create an API. Okay. And save it. And before that, what you should give API title. So SFDC API. And what is the version of your API? Version 1.0. Should give it. Okay, so you have any base path of your APIs. If you want to give a base path, like I'm going to give SFTC, something like REST. So this is what I'm going to give. This is the base path, and save and go to REST. So here you can create a REST, and you can create a SOAP. You can create like an OData something. So suppose if you want to use like in REST, you can use import an endpoint. Okay, so import an endpoint, and you create a new process, or import from an external service file. No, I'm not going to import any external service URL. I'm going to use an existing process. Use an existing process. Just next. So which process you want to insert? This is the process I'm going to develop just now. I'm going to import this service, and how you are going to convert this one REST and SOAP here and finish it. Now that this Salesforce integration will converting as a like REST and SOAP. See like SOAP, it is like SOAP, and this is like REST. Go to this account. This is the endpoint of. This is the get method. You know why it is get method? You already had get account. That method is you are like supporting as a get account. So if you see endpoint, edit endpoint here. So this is endpoint here. Web services, REST account. So this is not simple one now. It is REST. Web services, REST, SFTC, REST account. You got it? Hello, Magesh, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just checking everything. Yeah.
So this is like an input type. Input type, we are not giving any input, right? That is what it is not giving. See, that's already request handle the process. Input type is nothing, and response is like we are receiving response JSON, right? And save. Now we are converted as a like this is a JSON. The same way like SOAP also we converted. Like an advanced.
What is the difference actually? The normal one and the rest on rest is SOAP.
Sorry.
No, what is the difference? Would be normal. We calling the service or this REST and SOAP?
Yeah. So normal is only it is a single process. Every time we are so suppose we have multiple related. So suppose we are going to define something like an API, like a banking API. Let's assume. Okay. In banking, we have like multiple APIs are available. Okay. We have single base path and multiple resource path available. Suppose earlier we have simple and something like get account is there, right? So now what we have to define. So this is for get account. This is for get account. So we have other like a create account. Next time we are going to create like a create account. Next time we are going to use like a delete account. Okay. So every time what we are going to every process like this is for get account. For other delete account we are create one more integration process, and create account we are going to create one more process. For every process we are going to create a different endpoint URLs for this simple URL. Okay. So when we are going to create like REST APIs, what will happen? Every process we are going to all process we are going to like publish into this same REST APIs. Okay. Only this REST endpoint URL will be changed. The base URL should not be changed. It's never going to be changed.
Okay.
Like web services and REST, it's never going to be changed. Only is going to change is like account, get account, or like see here if it is add endpoint, you go to endpoint. So path you have to like you have to give like an account, like a get account or create account, whatever it is. Like suppose if you want to use account, under account we have like get account. something like I have defined. Suppose one more process we deploy, like so the resource path should be same. Web services REST and account should be same. Only thing is like create account, delete account. Like this, you have to define your integration process. When you are going to publish, only one API which we are going to publish to third-party systems.
Okay.
We are going to define like an API documentation also, right? Since simply URL, you cannot define the API documentation. How I will show you how like an API documentation will be generated for this. Okay. API documentation is nothing but what request you are going to send, what response you are going to receive, and that API document will be generated by this API service component. If in simple URL, we are not going to be recommended. Okay. Whether you are going to convert like REST, whether it is going to convert as a SOAP. Now you should create a package component for this. And the next add details, next, and deploy. And when you are going to deploy this SFDC API, and also you should deploy this Salesforce integration service also. But we already deployed Salesforce integration. So I'm not going to, again, I'm not going to create a package component for that. So only I'm create a package component for SFDC API and deploy the same server again. Production, next selection version, deploy. Now I deployed SFDC API and I already deployed Salesforce integration. Now go to production environment. So this is like a Salesforce integration we deployed. And if you go to listeners, so this is like an SFDC API.
Okay.
Now you should go shared web server. So the same thing is available. So it is not going to be changed every time. And if you go to here, services, and go to API management here. Yeah. See here under deployed APIs. Okay. Under configuration, once you go API management, under API management, we have deployed APIs. You can see the deployed API, SFDC API service.
Okay.
What are the APIs are available? All APIs are available here.
Okay.
You got it right. So
Yeah.
here, just go to view. We have REST API, and so this is the endpoint URL. This is the endpoint URL, and this is the get account. So if you have like a multiple process get create account, so when single API we can see all the process related endpoints.
Okay.
Okay, you got it right.
Yeah, got it.
And also we have SOAP. So this is like a digital file.
Okay, so the URL we can see only here, right? And services management only.
Yes.
So it has a host, base, everything, right?
Yeah. This is your server username and password is asking when you are using like a digital.
Oh, instead of Postman, we can give anywhere, right? Browser also.
Yeah. I think something is wrong here. Go to Boomi account. Yeah, see here, the visual is like display. So we are like earlier we have accessed the visual from the endpoint URL. Now our service exposing as a visual, you have to give this visual to endpoint services who are going to access. You can give this visual. Earlier we have what we did. We are calling like a calculator visual or something other visuals we are calling from the SOAP. Right? From REST API we are calling from dummy REST API dot example. So the same way here we are like an exposed our own service as a REST API and we are SOAP API. So
Okay.
this REST APIs we are going to call from the third party like external system like this.
But this still we can do SOAP we can call from a browser also, right?
Yes, exactly.
But the rest we can go only SOAP UI or this Postman.
Yeah. Even REST also like supporting SOAP, I think. So I never tested it, but we can test it.
Yeah, SOAP UI we can test it. Yeah.
So we should the Swagger reference is available only for REST endpoint that have Atom API type is set to advanced on the shared web server panel. Okay. API space URL. So here REST endpoint URL. So under account we have get account. So what they're asking like an intermediate, they have to change to advanced. Okay, so this is like Swagger. Okay, so you can use this get account. This is the endpoint URL, and if you see here, this is the endpoint URL we have already. Yeah. So this is what we are hitting like main endpoint URL like a REST API, and you can use this Swagger. Okay, so it is asking like username and password. I think we already have username and we already have password. See this Swagger API. So this is like SFDC REST. This is the base path of your service, and under paths we have account and get account. Okay, this is the resource path. This is the base path, and this is the host name. Okay, see this is like an automatically generated. No? So what is the definitions? What is the request and what is the form? This is like the REST API will be available to third-party system. They are going to access our services. Means under account we have multiple get account, create account, or something. So all related resources, all related services, we can combine into one API by using like when you are going to create REST APIs. Okay.
Okay.
So this is what like an API management will work. So, and we have many more things all we have in APIs. So how we are going to control your like this is like an Atom control. Atom control means we are going to give like username and password of Atom. Okay. Atom control is nothing but internal Atom based authentication. Okay, internal Atom based authentication means while hitting our services, we are giving an username and password of that server username and password, right? That is like an internal Atom based authentication. So we can provide like an authentication provider also, like in a basic auth.
Okay.
So basic authentication, we can create our own authentication details here for that API, and we are going to provide those username and passwords for the only the further service. Okay. So we can so this is basic authentication. It's like in usernames. So we can create like in users, and we can create like in groups, and we can create like in roles. Okay. So like suppose this APIs who are going to access. So you can create a role administrator like in a general developers, and we can create like groups, and we are going to add the groups, and we are going to add those users into this, and we can assign those roles. And so we can give access to that view associated APIs and save it. And we have to define like go to application deployed APIs, and we go to applications. We can create an apps. We can create an apps. This is Node gateway, and we are going to create an API like this. And for all apps, like we are going to include all related services. We are going to include into this app. Suppose I created my app here. Okay. Means this is like in purely API. Like let me explain first this one. What are like we have to do? Suppose we created API, right? So we created one API that is like in a get account.
So deleted this credential.
Yeah. So we yeah, no problem. So we have like we can. So we created get account, right? So this API, who can like access? Who can access? So we can. Who can access this API? And so we can define authentications, like basic authentications, like OAuth with authentications, and also we can define documentation of this API, and we can create like throttling. Throttling is nothing but who are going, how many times the end user going to access, how many times he is going to access our services per minute, how many access we are going to, how many requests we are going to allow per minute. I'm going to give like only 5 calls, or like 10 calls, 13 calls, 15 calls per day. How many calls you are going to give, or per month how many calls you are going to give to this access, to this service. Okay, so this is where you are going to, you can use like a throttling concept. Okay, right, how many like generally we, whenever we have any commercials applications, like in any commercial APIs, if you want to use, they will restrict you. So how many times you are going to access this service? If you are exceeding that limit, you will not going to able to hit.
Correct.
Right. So means they are going to apply some throttling concept on that particular API. Throttling is nothing but, so they're going to restrict your calls, requesting calls. They're going to restrict. So only they're going to give some quota. So how many quota they're going to allocate it for you? So suppose per day they're going to allocate it like 20 calls. So if we exceed the 20 calls, 20 requests, so the 21 call it is going to be rejected. That is like a throttling concept we have. If we are implementing this throttling concept, we are going to create like an applications, like an app. In that app, we are going to include multiple services like this. Okay. Once you created an app, for this app, what are the services included in this app? So we can give throttling concept for this application.
Okay.
So that's why like we created an app here. So we have an applications like my app, and we have zero subscriptions. We can add subscriptions for this, like you can add subscribe. Okay, we have a subscription attached application to API key that is allowed to identify who is the API is allowed to subscribe. This is application contact no API which you are able to subscribe. In order to create, need to be at least one plan you have to deploy. First you create a plan. 1 second. You can create a plan here. So what is your plan? So you can create your own plan. I create a plan like platinum. Okay. I create like silver. I create like unlimited APIs. Okay. Suppose I create like platinum here. I'm going to include one app. This app I'm going to include this. So in this app, who are going to be included? So they will get only like a platinum APIs, like a policy season of 50 KB, maximum size 50 KB, only 30,000 calls per day, and the rate limit is 1,000 calls per minute.
Okay.
So you can define your own plan here, like something. What is your plan? So what is the maximum size you are going to allow? 50 KB or size in terms of like request and response.
Okay.
Yeah. And what is the rate limit? So how many calls you are going to per minute and per second and per hour? So quota limit. So how many per month, per day, per week?
Okay.
So this is where you are going to define a plan first, like this. So I create like so based on your plans, you have to choose which one. So in this plan, suppose I created this plan and open this plan, you can edit this plan like this. You already created an app, right? So this you can add that who are like belongs to this plan, like platinum service. You are going to add these applications. I added my app. This app I created. Subscribe to an API. Why it is not subscribed? You need to add at least one plan to your deployed API. Okay, let's go to our API first. Deployed API. I'm going to add. One second. We're going to add Atom control. So authentication providers and so Atom controlled, we cannot use it. Authentication provide basic authentication. Complete. Now we have to add plans. Plant is like platinum. Add platinum. Add to plan. I'm going to add. Now added basic authentication. For basic authentication, we added like in a plan here. How many times you are going to access this SFTC API? So once you add this plan to your API, then you are going to go to application, and you can go to subscribe SFTC API. Okay. Now once you add plans and once you add applications, your plan, and you can publish your API. So you can create like dev portal. So we have, this is like a vast concept. This is like pure API management.
I didn't know any of the API. That's why.
Yeah. So you can create like yeah. Sorry.
No, I didn't know aware of this API. That's why it's kind of maybe let's see.
Yeah. So actually, this API management is like it is vast concept, not a single like. So actually, this is like competitors for like Google API. This is like separate classes we have actually, and so this Google API is nothing but already whatever like an existing APIs we already defined. So those APIs we can manage actually. So that
Okay.
API management is nothing but whatever like suppose we created get account API. So how we are going to manage our APIs? Manage your APIs means how we are going to give security to your APIs.
Okay.
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 That is like management things. One is like provide security. So how we are going to provide security, how we are going to manage your security for your API. So security. This is like an API management. Okay, not on Google only, API management. Google API like providing one of the best tool. API management is provided by Delbumi also, and Google API is also providing. And also we have some other tools. Security management.
API is a common and it has
Yeah,
many products,
API is
right?
common. API is common. Like how we are defining API, right? Just we are defining API like in REST and SOAP.
Okay.
So we are defining an API by using Delbumi. So some other users are going to define their APIs by using like Java, .NET, some other applications, right?
Okay.
Once
Okay.
they're ready with their APIs, then how we are going to secure our APIs before going to provide these services to third-party systems.
Okay.
Suppose we define this service, right? We define this service like get account details. Okay. So
Yeah.
this service, if you want to use by third-party systems, you are most concerned about like security. Might be some unauthorized users going to access the service. Suppose this is get account. Suppose create account, check balance. Let's assume in the come in real time, right? Check balance or something like transfer, funds transfers. So those are APIs they have. How they're going to give their services to third-party systems. So they're going to give these services to like Google API and PhonePe, right? And third-party systems. They're going to utilize these APIs to like pay the bills, right? So how they're going to give, like how the banks going to give these services to third-party systems? How they're going to banks manages these APIs, existing APIs. So that is come like an API management will come into the picture. So this API management is nothing but manage your APIs.
Okay.
Already developed APIs, how you are going to manage?
Okay.
How
Here,
manage nothing but how you are going to...
how come Axway? It's one of the product. It's company, right? Like Google. Axway.
Yes, actually. That is also API management too. Exactly.
Okay.
So Delbumi offering some of the API management techniques like this, like plan, but not like that much like features are not there. When you are comparing with like Google API or like Axway or like an Akana, we have like an Azure API, we have many, but not that much. Still they are like give like only basic management they are giving.
Okay. So whatever this security is given by Boomi, whatever we are seeing now.
Yeah, yes. We are not going to be like we are not going to choose for any other API, third-party API management tools. So here we are exposing our APIs, and at the same way we are going to manage our APIs in the Delbumi itself. We are not going to use third-party tools for managing these APIs.
Okay.
Okay. So that is it. Security, like how we are going to provide. So like when you use like a basic authentication, we are using like other authentications. So we already seen right how basic authentications will work. Like we have authentications, which is like an atom controlled authentications. We have new authentication user. Select one like basic authentications, gateway JWT authentication. It is going to provide. And here one more thing, like when you are giving security, how we are going to traffic control, traffic management control. Okay.
Okay.
Traffic management means, so how many times you are going to like suppose you are going to like some plans. Suppose we are have some commercial APIs you have developed. Suppose you are going to use like a Razorpay, right? Razorpay is a third-party system. So Razorpay is going to use like an HDFC Bank services and ICICI Bank services, and all bank services they're going to utilize. And if you need Razorpay, you have to pay something for them, right? For if you want to use for your business, suppose you have some e-commerce you developed, and behalf of like payments and you have to include their APIs in your website. Suppose you are something like, purchase some item and you are going, customer wants to pay for that order, like an e-commerce, like a website. So how we are going to enter like, debit card, credit card details. How they're going to, like, interacting with like, banks, means we have some API gateways are available. Okay, means
Okay.
banks going to provide APIs to this e-commerce gains, then e-commerce going to use their services. But how the banks will give? So the banks going to provide some packages. So if you want to utilize our payment gateway, like, daily, like, 1,000 calls we are going to support for this rate, and we are going to provide like 20,000 calls. You can call from your website. We are going to use that. We are going to charge for this month, per month and per day, per call. They are going to define some packages, platinum, like, gold, something like that. So that is like a traffic management. We have defined level something plans right here.
Okay.
These plans, how many times you are going to access my services? 5
We
times
can
a
have
day.
some control.
Some control on the, yes, exactly. So traffic management, you are going to manage some traffic.
Okay.
So this traffic management will provide some of the like control of your external request calls.
Correct.
Okay, so this is like a traffic management, and we have to provide like, we are going to create like, publish these APIs, right? If you want to publish these APIs, publish means once you create like, applications, we are going to create a, like, an app. We are going to give it some plan to the services, and after that we are going to publish these apps to developer portal. Okay, this one, once you are going to publish this application into the developer portal, you are going to create a new developer portal. So this publish into development portal is nothing but what exactly, right? Publish is nothing but you are defining all services, security management, traffic management. You are going to publish all these APIs into one developer portal. Right? What is the developer portal? So developer portal is nothing but you are already seeing some developer portal. Suppose developer.facebook.com. So developer.ICICI Bank. Developer.ICICI Bank. Developer.facebook.com. So this is like developer portals. See, this is like developer portal. So what is a developer portal is nothing but you are going to give some idea or insight to the endpoint users. So this is my API. So this is works like you're going to give some dummy APIs, like see here. We are going to, so we have sandbox, we have UAT, we have production. So we have these APIs are like maintaining in our services. We are providing these services, and you can browse all APIs, and so you can sign up and you can see how these APIs will work. Hello. Yeah. So this is something like developer site. This is something like developer portal. You are going to define your own portal to your APIs.
Okay.
Okay. So then next end user wants to use your services. First, they are going to explore your APIs first.
Okay.
How your APIs looks like, how your APIs providing security, how your APIs going to work out. So you can explore all ICICI Bank APIs. If you are like it, and you can subscribe your these APIs by paying something to them.
Okay.
So this is like something developer portal you should create by using like Delbome.
Okay.
You got it right?
Okay.
So developer dot like pay like so I'll show you like simple example. Developer dot Razor Pay. So developer document. See. So this is like developer documents. Like, so this is like refunds, payments, settlements, like invoices, create an order. So this is APIs. Your APIs work like this. They are going to provide some dummy APIs, how it is going to work, how you are going to JSON response will be there, how your request should be there. So they are going to define these kind of like documentations to understand how we are going to invoke their services. So this is kind of like publish. And they are going to manage APIs means they're going to give something like monitoring. So monitoring is nothing but, suppose let's assume you are a security provider, traffic management provider for APIs. You are going to publish those APIs. After publish those APIs, someone going to like decided, so they are going to purchase your APIs to their business. Okay. Then how you are going to monitor these existing APIs? Suppose they're going to a lot of users going to hit your APIs. Okay, a lot of APIs you are providing to third-party systems. How you are going to monitor those APIs? How many times they are going to hitting per day? So you have any issues on those APIs while invoking these services? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So those kind of monitoring tool is available under API management, but we don't have in Delbumi. So monitoring is nothing but how we are going to monitor your APIs when external user going to hit your services.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So suppose how many requests will come per day, and so if you have any spikes, like in particular time have any spikes are there. So is kind of like monitoring purpose. What is the size coming per request per services? So particular these services, how many requests will come from third party systems? How many response we are going to send back? How many like APIs are failing? So what is the reason to fail? So this kind of monitoring we are going to use. And they're going to use like monetization. Monetization also they're going to provide in API management. Monetization is nothing but how we are going to like bill your invoice. Suppose you are going to there's someone going to use your APIs, right? So how we are going to bill your like generate invoices for their APIs for their use. Suppose you are going to use like in Google Cloud or like an Amazon Web Services, right? So they are going to give plans like pay and use, like how much you are going to use, you can pay for that one, not so utilization, right? So monetization is about tracking of customer bill, generate invoices bills based on their usage.
Okay.
Suppose if you take AWS services, they're going to offer like pay whatever you like use whatever you want, you can pay for them.
Okay.
So that like they're going to they're going to generate like invoices. These services we are used for this month, and this is the cost so far. And this is like a monetization tools they're going to use in the API management. That monetization monitoring, so not good in Delbumi, but so the best tools is like in currently like now, especially for APC and Akana. I have Axway, and we have many more, and we have CA tools also there. CA company also providing some tool. So this is completely like an API management. So this is like a lot of concepts will be there.
Okay. But
So,
if something comes, API will come for all the account. Maybe what I mean to say, some projects are doing real time, right? In all the real time, they will use API or how copy. It's like only exceptional cases. Like there are few cases only they will use API.
No. So someone like majorly maximum they're not going to use only a couple of projects like going to use, not all projects. So some of the like projects have purely like an integration. Okay, they're not going to touch API management also.
Okay.
Okay, some of the like they're going to provide some of the APIs, but they're not going to provide like security or like traffic management, and only they're going to provide like basic security, like an atom control security, not more than. They're not going to go for like an in-depth actually.
Okay.
So some of
based on
these,
the
yeah,
requirement. Okay.
yeah.
Because
that is
I
a,
never heard the project where I'm going, right. I never they never told me to do all this in AP.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yes,
why.
exactly. So someone going to purely on like EDA management side.
Yeah.
So EDA is nothing but only thing is you have to take care of trading partner, and the remaining is same. Like any other shapes, other execution shapes, other logical shape you have to include in this EDA. Only thing is endpoints you have to take care of, and also you have to understand the EDA document, like profile.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
what is like an EDA 850? How we are going to identify that EDA 850 or like an 810? So we'll discuss tomorrow. We'll start it. Okay.
Sure. Okay. Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that is a major portion they are looking into.
Yeah. We'll discuss in the next couple of days.
Sure. Okay. Sure. Okay. Thank you. Thanks so
Thanks.
much.